So now that we've seen that we can have a variable, something that changes over the course of the code, we have to be able to give that variable a name. So there's two pieces here that are of note, and I am not going to read to you. This is 2.5, by the way, and this starts on page 42. And I am not going to read to you from table 2-4, which is the C++ keywords. These are good to know. You should absolutely go through and read through this table just so that you can see the keywords that we have set aside for C++, the ones that you cannot use. So for instance, right here on the top row of our table 2-4 on page 42, for is a reserved keyword. You cannot use it. So that's something to be aware of. So what is it that we can use as identifiers? This is on page 43, legal identifier. So a legal way to identify or name a variable. So the first character must be letters A through Z or an underscore. So it cannot start with a number, for example. After the first character, you can use the letters A through Z, the digits 0 through 9, so numbers 0 through 9, and the underscore. So no special characters, no spaces, for example, but you can use camel case, so that's uppercase, lowercase, and a mixture of those two. Uppercase and lowercase characters are what are known as distinct. So what that means is if you have the same identifier, so the same name for a variable. So I'm going to call one of them days of the week, all lowercase, and the other one days of the week, where of, the, and week all start with uppercase letters. Those are not the same identifier. C++ doesn't see those as the same because, hey, look, one of them has all lowercase letters and the other one has a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters. Here's where I tell you that those two identifier names, those two variable names, days of the week and days of the week, though they are spelled differently and though C++ sees them differently, I am going to warn you to not be a jackwagon, to not use the same variable name but with different mixtures of uppercase and lowercase letters, because the first developer that's going to mess up is you. The next developer that's going to mess up is me. And in that interaction, nobody gets out of just simply looking at your identifiers, your variable names, without, psychological damage. So yes, it's absolutely the case that C++ will identify int lowercase x and int uppercase x as distinct and different variables. However, the first one that's going to mess that up is you. 13 seconds after you've gone through and said, int lowercase x equals 10, int uppercase x equals 20, you're going to be the first one to mess that up. You're going to ask me questions. I'm going to be the second one to mess that up. There's just no reason for that. So simply call them, user entry 1, user entry 2. Now they're distinct. Now they're completely different. And it's much, much more difficult for you to screw that up. And it's more difficult for me to screw that up. So look here at table 2-5 to look at what combinations you can use for legal versus illegal variable names, identifiers, so that you can get those right in the code.